My advice to the individuals personally is get a job. But like, one of the political ramifications of that is give people a fucking job.
Yeah. Talk about killing two birds with one stone or one windmill. You could, pay young men to like put windmills together.
Yeah, well, I gotta say the two good things about Biden that were actually good was the infrastructure bill, and should have been bigger. Bernie would have made a bigger one. And like the labor policies. But with him gone, those don't fucking stay. Like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, Kamala's gonna be like, we need to build bridges. Like, that's not going to be
no, not to coalitions. You need to build them to connect like distances, so cars can traverse them.
No, I don't want and I've said this before, when historians talk about this time, we're going to realize like the expectation creep that went from like, yeah, sometimes trains just fly off tracks.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like anything but an economic program. And anything but a jobs program, right? I mean, like AOC said a couple of years ago about the economic, about the Green New Deal. She said, climate change is our World War II. Like, think of it as World War III. We need to fight this. And what did we do during World War II? We had a fucking jobs program, right? Remember, like, a lot of women ended up working, not that women, not that no women had jobs then, but not, many didn't, I'll say. And a lot of women who were left at home when their husbands were drafted into the war, were working factory jobs, right? And they were doing whatever. They were putting gun parts together, putting weapon parts together. They were packing MREs. They were fucking, doing seamstress shit. Even like that's how our productive forces got so fucking well developed at that point. And it was also, contributed to how we won the war. What we could do now, is the same thing, but for green energy. Because I think a lot of the not among politicians, because they're always gonna like have bullshit stories they spin about it, but like I think among the people, the real anxiety about doing like green energy shit is job loss. Right? They're worried about losing their fracking job, their oil drilling job. Some of these jobs pay really well, right? We're going to need how many fucking jobs to do all the other shit that we need to transition. The solution under capitalism, especially under neoliberalism, is just to really kind of wish and hope that the oil companies themselves turn into wind and solar companies. And that's why all our fucking leaders can come up with, and Democrats, because mostly Republicans just completely ignore this shit. What about a tax incentive to do some percentage of green energy? Like, you see BP and fucking Shell and shit have TV commercials where they'll go, we're proudly committing to 20% renewables or whatever. It's probably a load of shit, but they get to say that because that's all Democrats will do, is just incentivize them to tinker with their holdings and their investments and their operations in a way that just makes it look just enough like they're doing something, like they're making a transition, right? They're transitioning. That's it. That's all we get with neoliberalism.
It's just like what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, anything to avoid like looking the most obvious things like dead in the face. Like, what, why would Americans feel alienated from just the political process at all? Like, why was there a collapse in turnout? Could it be that like you know, the fact that like a hospital stay, even with insurance, like costs as much as a fucking car, and there's just they have totally given up on any solution to that.
Literally anything but an economic program. They will do absolutely anything but an economic program.
While they're still trying to blame the left, we should keep saying, because it's true, that Democrats got the exact fucking election they wanted. This was the first election since 2016 where there was no major primary, first of all, but no major primary challenger from the left. And it fucking showed, right? To their credit, Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden knew well enough to take on some of the Bernie policies, right? Some of the Warren policies in Biden's case. Yeah, even if they would say like, oh, but well, this, and this is unrealistic, but we can do a version of this, and instead of this, we can do this. And you know, it was like not what I want, not what a lot of us want, and it was not a great strategy in my opinion, because I think the better strategy is just to fucking be Bernie Sanders, just to do the fucking shit, commit to the actual program instead of hoping to shave off some parts of it. If there's no challenger from the left, why would Kamala Harris feel that she had to do any of that shit at all? I'm not sure how I would feel, but I think there's plenty of people who were not on board with Kamala who would have been. And this is left, right, and center too. But they would have been if, she had taken on some of these policies and not run away from them. Because she was pro Medicare for all and all this shit, like back in 2019 and 2020 when she was running. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, right? It was actually like, it was pretty slight. Like that loss was pretty slight. It was razor thin. It seems to me that fucking some of that Bernie shit that she tried to take on kind of helped her there. Biden won pretty significantly over Trump. He ran on a fairly progressive platform. He took on, again, some of the Bernie shit. And I think that a Bernie, even, maybe a Warren would have won. They knew how to present a program to the American people. And that's what people want. Right? You need to identify enemies, and you need to lay out your fucking plan to attack them. But this 2024 thing, it was just fuck this and fuck you. Kamala Harris 2024. Get fucked, asshole. There's a great fake bumper sticker I saw. It was like, we need your votes, you morons, you pieces of shit. Like, that's it. There was no challenger, and there was no taking on of those policy positions. They ran the centrist, really center right to right wing campaign they've always wanted. She ducked on trans issues. It was all like, we're going to fucking drill all the goddamn oil. We're going to, have the most lethal military. Small business owners, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney, all the Cheneys. We love Cheneys. It was all right wing, appeal to the center that doesn't fucking exist. All that shit. I think that this election, 2024, was quite literally and consciously a purge of the left. They wanted to see if they could win without the left so that they could forget about us forever. I mean, they're still going to do that anyway. So I don't know what the fucking point is, but they wanted to kick us out of the party. So I was like, okay, bye. Voted for Claudia de la Cruz.
Stay, even with insurance, like costs as much as a fucking car, and there's just They have totally given up on any solution to that.
Literally anything but an economic program. They will do absolutely anything.
Yeah, it's just they really don't want to solve any problems. That's the thing that I think needs to be stressed is that even if you want to show me a fucking graph and be like, look, but this gets better with Democrats and this is higher with Democrats and whatever. Like, first of all, who feels that difference in their life? That's a, big thing. But it's also just that, like, these problems aren't being solved, man. Just because they're less bad or they get worse slower under Democrats doesn't mean they're being solved. That's the thing. It's just a complete lack of interest in solving problems. That's what we should be doing. Because we can. We can do an Austrian, Viennese housing program, Again, we can do a World War II style jobs program.